Hi, in this module, I'm going to speak about the topic content marketing campaigns. The traditional world of marketing has been long shut off by the consumers. In this new generation, people often skip the advertisements they watch on the television, ignore the magazine or newspaper advertisements. Instead, the generation today are more adept at online surfing, and they can take in online information without a care for banners or buttons, making them irrelevant. In short, traditional marketing is becoming less and less effective, but there has to be a better way. This is the point where content marketing begins to shine. First of all, for those who are not familiar with content marketing, I'll provide you with a short description of it. Content marketing is a strategic marketing approach focused on creating and distributing valuable, relevant, and consistent content to attract and retain a clearly defined audience. And ultimately, the goal is to drive profitable customer action. So, do you want to know how content marketing is different from traditional marketing? By knowing the extreme benefits you can get from content marketing, I believe that after this, you'll never consider traditional marketing ever again. But before we jump into comparison, we also need to understand more about the traditional methods of marketing, which are direct response and branding. However, this divide today represents a false dichotomy. So what is the problem with these methods? Well, the answer is one method can't be effective without the other, and that's about it. Companies that focus on branding alone will go broke if they never figure out how to sell. But at the same time, companies that focus on direct response alone eventually go broke because everyone on this planet hates them. Has this ever happened to you? Let's imagine ourselves as our customers instead. Are you happy when you keep getting calls from telemarketers? How do you feel? Annoyed? Pissed? So what products do you go for usually? Let's say you're given a choice to purchase product A, which you've never heard of in your entire life, or product B, which you've heard or read about regularly. If you're one of the majority, you would definitely go for the branded one, isn't that right? We always buy the products that we trust, period. So the major flaw of traditional marketing is that they are 90% focused on selling the products. As I mentioned before, we don't like to be sold to. Today, 90% of the pieces of content are consumed before a purchasing decision is made. Instead of sales, they start with and buy your thoughts and leadership. Take note and remember that buyers don't buy your products and services. They buy your perspective and approach to solving their problems instead. On the other hand, content marketing, aka modern way of marketing, is more focused on selling the ideas about the product. Ideas equal solutions and values, which is why content marketing is the new path to revenue. Go ahead and think for a moment, why do you hate telemarketers or promoters so much? It's simple, actually, because it interrupts you in a variety of ways, looking to capture your attention for a brief period of time. These interruptions can also be in ways of radio, television, magazine ads, posters, street banners, and many more. Although they did try to get your attention, there are three fatal flaws in this method. Number one, your attention only holds for a short amount of time. Number two, oftentimes you are interrupted instead of being offered something valuable. The outcome of this is you get pissed, you hate it, and you will not buy. Number three, this traditional publicity tends to be expensive, especially if all the campaigns are not successful. Now, I'll explain to you why content marketing is the winning solution. Instead of interrupting you, it gives you valuable information. It can come in many different forms of content and provides a lot of advantages. So how many forms of content marketing are there? Some of them are blogs, articles, podcasts, downloadable guides, infographics, video, apps, social media conversations, printed digital publications, user-generated contents, cheat sheets or workbooks, and swipe files. Do you see the power in having so many forms? Instead of flaws, content marketing provides 8 major advantages to your business, which further reinforces why you need to add content marketing to your business now. Number 1, by providing value to the clients, you create loyalty to the brand. Number 2, with the blogs or videos, you can educate your clients so they buy in the future. Number 3, you can create reciprocity among clients that may buy from you out of gratitude. Number 4, you can attract clients just by writing in your blog. Number 5, you can create viral content that links with the website, attracting crazy amounts of clients. Number 6, through multimedia formats, you can attract the attention of the public across many demographics. Number 7, it's so much easier to put up content on the internet than on the television, radio, or magazines, etc. Number 8, it's totally inexpensive. Moreover, content marketing costs 62% less than traditional marketing and generates 3 times as many leads. Do you still need to ask why you should go for content marketing? Hey, I can go up to number 100 if I want to, but you get the idea. Content marketing is king. After understanding the what and why of content marketing, finally, I'll tell you how to build a successful content marketing campaign. In order to build a successful campaign, 3 things need to be aligned. The first thing is quality content. What is content marketing without mind-blowing content? It's the core, the heart of everything we've discussed so far. Without a strong core, everything tumbles, even if you have the greatest strategies in the world. This quality content is number 1 in the whole equation. So what makes quality content? Understand that marketing used to be about making a myth and telling it. Now it's about telling a truth and sharing it. Today's market is no longer interested in lies and myths. They want no-nonsense, straight-to-the-point truth of whatever problems they're facing and solutions to solve them. This is what quality content's all about. It provides value. Value is what makes your clients put their trust on you. It's what really drives traffic to you. Let's take a moment and imagine. Are you going fishing? The market is a big fish pond. In this pond, the fish, which is the traffic, is already in there. So you don't have to create traffic. All you need to know is how to drive them to you. The bait you're using is the valuable content we're speaking about. The better bait you use, more traffic is going to come to you. However, not all fish are going to go for your bait. It needs to be the bait that they want. This brings us to point number 2. The content you provide must be relevant. We need to know who the people we're going for are and also our target demographics. Are they young, old, fitness enthusiasts, internet marketers, housewives, students, medical specialists? Know your customer and provide relevant, valuable content. With these 2 points, we have a pretty good bait to drive good traffic. But what if the quality content you are providing is just once in a blue moon? Will your traffic be consistently coming to you? Content marketing is not a one-hit wonder thing. You need to be consistent in publishing your content to keep your audience spellbound to the value you are providing. Keep your audiences staying with you. The second major thing on how to build a successful content marketing campaign is we need to build a relational bank account with marketing. So what is a relational bank account? Think of your relationship with your customers as a bank vault. Some marketers view their customers as an unlimited bank vault that they can constantly make withdrawals from. But the vault is actually empty at the beginning of the relationship. It's up to the business to build trust and goodwill with customers before asking for the sale. When you set up a bank account, the bank doesn't give you money. And the same thing is true with your customer. However, we're too often in withdrawal mode with our customers. Instead, we should focus more on making deposits. So ask yourself, would you give $1 to a stranger? Our willingness to give depends on the person asking. For example, we're more willing to give $1 to a person in a suit when we ask money to use the payphone compared to a disheveled, drunken stranger who is making you uncomfortable. The point is, as long as we feel comfortable, most of us would be willing to give $1 to a stranger in need. So what if the amount were $1,000? Almost nobody will say yes to a stranger asking for this amount. But when your best friend asks for $1,000, you at least consider giving it to them. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what relational bank accounting is all about. So when you ask a prospect or customer for money, they ask themselves, do I know you? Do I like you? Do I trust you? If they say yes to these questions, you succeeded in building a relational bank account with that customer. Let's recall what we learned previously about branding and selling, and now relate it to relational bank accounts. Branding is anything that makes a deposit into a customer's relational bank account. Selling is anything that makes a withdrawal from a customer's relational bank account. Anytime you try to sell someone something, you're making a relational bank account withdrawal. However, be aware that too many withdrawals can break a customer's trust. Now I'll give you 4 ways to build your relational bank account. Method 1, make them laugh. Think about the ads that grab your attention. Why did it make a lasting impression on you? Most likely it's because it gives you emotions, and making you laugh is one of them. Being funny is easy when a product is funny, but humor can also be difficult with ordinary products. Anytime you make someone laugh, they like you more, and it builds up your relational bank account. However, it doesn't always work. It's funny when you can make fun of yourselves and show people you don't take yourself too seriously. So make sure that being funny is relevant to you and what you're offering. You never want a doctor to make fun of himself if he's treating you, right? The second method is to make them cry. Same concept as method 1, giving your customers emotions, but this is very difficult for it to work. But when it works, it can be extremely powerful. Even though we know it's just an ad or blog post, we can't help but feel affected. You can do this by trying to relate your brand to your customer's memory, create nostalgia. If you hit the sweet spot, you can attach your brand into deeper memory of your customers. The third method is making them feel that they are part of something. Think about why Apple has been so successful all these years. It was so because people felt included in their mission. They put their customers' experience as the #1 priority. Consequently, even when Apple struggled, people stayed loyal to their brand over the years. Apple can sell whatever they want to sell because their customers are loyal to the brand and identify themselves by it. In order to do the same in your business, be authentic and take a stand. Let the people know what you're all about so they can know if they want to be a part of it. Here's my homework for you. Make a list of what you believe in your brand, what you stand against, and anything else that might help customers identify with you. The fourth method is to deliver actual value in advance. It means giving your prospects valuable and usable content they can actually want before you ask for money. Help them first, sell after. Here's a scenario. You're stuck in the middle of a desert. Your car broke down and you need help. There's no network, no food, no water. You're stranded out there alone. Here comes a guy named John. Coincidentally, he found you lost in the desert. He offers to help you out of the desert, but he asks you to pay first before he offers his service. You have no choice but to pay whatever price he's demanded. But are you happy about it? What if John offers you help without asking for money first? Instead, he gets you out of the desert, offers you food and water. If he had asked you for money later, would you have gladly offered it? Right, because he provided value in advance. What if John gets you out of the desert for free, offers food and water for free, and later you know that he sells furniture for a living? Most probably, you will buy furniture from him, right? The power to deliver value in advance is just amazing. Finally, the third way to build a successful content marketing campaign is to build a successful content strategy. Now that you have great quality content with fantastic relationships with your prospects, without an effective documented marketing strategy, do you think you can make the maximum profit possible? 97% of effective content marketers have a strategy. So if you don't have one, I truly encourage you to have one now. Question is, how to build a successful content marketing strategy. If you're new to creating a strategy, don't worry because I'm going to give you 7 simple steps to build a killer strategy. Step 1 is know your objectives. To create any well-planned strategy, you need to ask questions. So always ask questions. Why are you doing what you're doing? Is content marketing going to increase brand awareness among your audience? Is it going to help increase sales? Is it going to increase your customers' loyalty? Write them down. All these questions will give you so much clarity about your business, plus it gives you a lot of motivation to succeed. Clarity is power. Also, remember to always know your why before the how. Step 2 is know your one big thing. Guess what? Someone else has already thought of your great idea. So what makes you and your content special? What makes you unique? Usually, the big thing is not your product or your services. It's your story. It can also be your company's soul that shines in content marketing. So think for a moment and write down your one big thing. Step 3 is tracking or taking measurements. Why do you do that? The answer is simple. To know if your content is working, it helps to achieve your objectives. The metrics you're tracking have to be congruent to your business objectives. Are you tracking your audience's brand awareness, their consumption, your sales, the amount of leads you're generating? However, don't track everything. Just track a few things that actually matter. Now, write down what you're going to track in order to know if your content's working. Step 4 is to know your audience. Ask yourself, who are they? What do they like? How do they spend their time? What influences them? Write them all down. You need to know them in order to attract them. After knowing them, step 5 is to know their needs. The question for this is simple. Just ask yourself, what content do they want from you? For this, I have a bonus tip for you because I'm going to give you 7 ways to find your audience's needs. They are web analytics, internal search data, search analytics, social listening, interviewing customers, and via sales or customer service. Just pick some of these ways and study them. From there, you can list down what they want from you. Simple, right? Then we move on to step 6, which is content execution. What kind of content are you going to provide? What content is the current market interested in? To answer this, do your research. In the meantime, don't rely on other people's case studies as it can be faulty and inaccurate. Do your own research. There are 2 main types of content execution, and I would call them rock and pebble. Imagine a huge rock and small pebbles. These are metaphors of content. The first type, rock, is heavier, more lasting, provides more value, and targeted closer to decision-making stage. What I mean is the content it provides is more to the core and provides tremendous value to those who come across it. At the same time, this amount of content provided is a lot and detailed. Those who are close to decision-making would pay more attention to this type of content execution. On the other hand, pebbles are lighter, disposable, less value, and targeted at initial stages. Simply said, this type of content execution is more superficial, provides less value, and is more of an introduction to a larger thing. An example of rock is a very detailed research report, whereas an example of a pebble is a blog post. However, you can actually break your big rock and turn it into many pebbles and place them in many different places. Meaning, even if you have a huge detailed content, you can turn it into many mini-contents or topics and show them in many different platforms. An easy example is that BBC now creates 15-second news stories with Instagram video from a long television broadcast. The rock in this example is the television broadcast, while the pebble is the Instagram video. You get the picture, right? Now you know the types of execution available out there. You know what to do, but it's a big chunk of work. Sometimes it'll get a bit too messy. So in order to be more organized, in this step I will teach you how to create your own content planning worksheet. Put in the date, the format or channel, author, description, personas, audience needs, funnel stage, call to action, and tracking into columns. Here's an example of a planning worksheet to help keep you organized. As you can see, there are different columns with different categories written on it. But it is best that you make those words short and clear. I'm sure that you do not want the planning to be messy and difficult for you to read. Remember, it's always good to have your work organized. After planning them out, schedule them. Put your content strategy on a detailed calendar with views by week, month, quarter, and year. You can use Excel or Google Doc for it. If you want an upgrade in scheduling, you can also go for dedicated software. After you schedule it, everything will be in place and execution will be easy. The final step is to build a killer strategy via content amplification. Understand that your content is fire, social media is gasoline. Why? Because the fact that you created some content doesn't mean anyone will see or care about it. You must market your marketing and create a distribution plan for each piece of content. So where do you amplify them? I'll give you 11 ways to amplify your content now. You can do it on your employees' social media, customer social media, internal or external email, organic search, paid search, display ads, paid social media ads, organic social, guest posts, earned media, and offline ads. There you have it, the 7 steps to build a killer content marketing strategy. Now, to sum it up, the 3 steps to build a successful content marketing campaign are: number 1, provide quality content. Number 2, build relational bank accounts with marketing. Number 3, build a successful content strategy. With all these arsenals up your sleeve, I'm confident that you will definitely be a content marketing expert if you take action. So remember, your job is not to make boring brochures. Your job is to tell interesting and informative stories. Stories sell.